Everyone dreams of the big breakthrough deal, the million-dollar acquisition, the flashy startup success, the viral product launch. But here's the truth. Those things are not what build lasting fortunes. They might be the results people see on the outside, but they're never the cause. Welcome to One Man's Bants, the channel for great and upcoming entrepreneurs. If you're new here, please do us a favor by subscribing or liking this video to see more. Fortunes are built on something much simpler, something repeatable, something you can do every single day. And that's what we're diving into today. 10 timeless lessons that reveal the real secret to building long-term wealth as an entrepreneur. Sell one thing every day. If you want to understand how fortunes are built, forget about the glamour and focus on this. Sell one thing every single day. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be groundbreaking. It just has to happen. The greatest companies in the world didn't start with giant IPOs or billion-dollar exits. They started with a simple transaction. Someone had a problem, someone else had a solution, and money changed hands. If you can sell one thing to one person each day, you've proven two powerful truths. First, that your product has real demand, and second, that you know how to close a sale. From there, everything else is a matter of scaling. If you can sell once, you can sell twice. If you can sell daily, you can build momentum. Most entrepreneurs get stuck waiting for the big break. They chase investors, they wait for their idea to go viral, or they spend endless hours perfecting a business plan. But the real test of a business is this. Did you sell something today? If yes, you're moving forward. If not, you're stuck in theory. Fortunes are built by stacking those daily sales, day after day, year after year. Number 2, focus on substance, not status. Entrepreneurship today is often confused with a status symbol. People love calling themselves CEO, founder, or entrepreneur. But those titles don't mean much if they aren't backed by real results. You don't need to look important. You need to solve problems. You don't need to impress investors. You need to impress customers. A CEO who can't sell a product is just a dreamer with a fancy title. A small business owner who consistently sells, on the other hand, has more substance than a dozen self-proclaimed visionaries. Why? Because substance is built on impact. It's built on solving real problems in people's lives. Raising money doesn't prove you have a business. It proves you convinced an investor. But can you convince a customer? Can you get someone to open their wallet and exchange hard-earned money for your product? That's the true measure of entrepreneurship. The danger of chasing status is that it distracts you from the real work. Instead of obsessing over pitch decks and flashy titles, strip it all back to the core. Can you deliver value? Can you sell? That's substance. That's what builds fortunes. Status fades, but substance compounds. Number 3, strip it back to basics. When businesses fail, it's rarely because the idea was too simple. More often, it's because things became too complicated. Founders get caught up in complex business models, multiple revenue streams, or trying to copy what big companies are doing. But the essence of business is shockingly simple. Identify a problem, solve it, and sell the solution. Stripping things back to basics means constantly asking, what problem does my product solve? Who has this problem? Are they willing to pay for my solution? If you can't answer those 3 questions clearly, your business is built on shaky ground. Think about some of the greatest companies: Amazon, Apple, Netflix. At their core, their beginnings were incredibly simple. Amazon started by selling books online. Apple started with a simple computer. Netflix started with DVD rentals. Each began by solving one problem in one simple way, then expanded after nailing the basics. The truth is, complexity doesn't impress customers. Solutions do. A business that solves one problem well will always outperform a business that tries to do 100 things poorly. Fortune favors those who simplify, clarify, and focus. Strip it down, keep it simple, and never lose sight of the basics. Number 4, the forever test. Here's a powerful question every entrepreneur should ask. Will someone use my product every single day for the rest of their life? If the answer is yes, you've found something special. Daily use products are sticky. They create habits, routines, and dependencies. Once something becomes part of someone's daily life, it's incredibly hard for them to let go. That's why companies like Apple and Google dominate. Their products aren't occasional purchases, they're daily essentials. Think about brushing your teeth. Toothpaste passes the forever test. Think about communication. Phones, messaging apps, email, they pass the forever test. These aren't things you buy once and forget. They're things you rely on daily, often multiple times a day. That's what makes them powerful businesses. The forever test forces you to think long term. Instead of asking, will people try this once? Ask, will people keep using this forever? If your product integrates into someone's life like that, you don't just have a sale, you have a relationship, and relationships build fortunes. Daily use equals daily sales. Products that are used daily generate sales daily. That's why the giants of tech and consumer goods dominate, because they sell things people literally cannot go a day without. Take Apple, for instance. Their iPhones and watches aren't luxuries anymore, they're necessities. People wake up and check them before even brushing their teeth. That daily use drives a constant flow of new sales. As old devices wear out or upgrades launch, the cycle repeats. Apple doesn't rely on random luck, they rely on daily dependency. The same applies to Google. Think about how many times you use Google Search, Gmail, or Maps in a single day. Those services are so deeply embedded into life that they've become invisible necessities. This level of daily use ensures that millions of people around the world keep buying into the ecosystem. Now, contrast that with products people use once in a while. They might make a splash at launch, but long-term, they fizzle out. Daily use creates habit. Habit creates reliance. Reliance guarantees consistent sales. When you're building your product, ask yourself, how often will my customer interact with this? If the answer is daily, then you've found a recipe for resilience. A product used daily doesn't just earn revenue, it earns permanence in people's lives. That permanence is what makes sales repeatable, predictable, and scalable. Number 8, listen, improve, repeat. Here's the real secret to staying relevant. Constant improvement. No product is perfect on day one, and the market is never static. If you want your business to thrive for decades, you must adopt a cycle of listening, improving, and repeating. Customers will always tell you what they want if you're willing to listen. Their frustrations, complaints, and feedback aren't annoyances, they're gold. Every bit of feedback is an opportunity to make your product better, easier, faster, or more enjoyable. Think about how apps like Instagram or YouTube evolve. They didn't stay frozen in their first versions. They constantly roll out updates, listen to user behavior, and adjust. That's why they've maintained dominance despite intense competition. The same is true for physical products. Cars, phones, even shoes get better with each iteration because companies listen to their users. When you improve constantly, your customers feel heard. They become loyal because they see you're not just selling to them, you're growing with them. That bond is priceless. The biggest mistake entrepreneurs make is falling in love with their product instead of their customer. The product should evolve, but the customer should always feel like the hero. If you keep listening, keep improving, and keep iterating, you won't just stay in business, you'll stay ahead. Number 9, start with the pain point. Every fortune starts with one thing, solving pain. Not a nice to have, not a cool idea, pain. The bigger and more urgent the pain, the bigger the business opportunity. Look around and notice what frustrates people. What do they complain about? What do they wish was easier, faster, or better? Those frustrations are the seeds of fortune. Uber was born out of the pain of not being able to get a reliable taxi. Netflix solved the pain of late fees and inconvenient rentals. Amazon solved the pain of limited shopping choices and long store trips. The secret is not just identifying pain, but solving it so well that people can't imagine life before your product. That's when frustration turns into loyalty. A customer who once hated their old solution will now love yours so much they'll tell others about it. The trap many entrepreneurs fall into is chasing ideas they personally like, instead of solving real-world pain points. A great business isn't about what you want, it's about fixing what others desperately need fixed. If you want to build a fortune, hunt for pain, then create the cure. Look for an inconvenience, then create the convenience. Number 10. Consistency beats breakthroughs. Big breakthroughs are exciting, but they're not the foundation of fortune. Consistency Island fortunes are built by showing up every single day selling, improving, and serving. Think about it. The companies we admire didn't become giants overnight. They built systems, they refined products, and they kept delivering day after day, year after year. Apple didn't stop after the first iPhone. Starbucks didn't stop after one coffee shop. They grew through relentless consistency. Breakthroughs may happen, but they're often the result of consistent action, not luck. When you sell daily, listen daily, and improve daily, you create momentum. That momentum compounds. Before long, your small daily wins add up to extraordinary success. The truth is, consistency is harder than a one-time breakthrough. It requires discipline, patience, and resilience. But it's also what separates dreamers from doers. A dreamer hopes for one big exit. A doer builds small wins into a lifetime of wealth. So don't chase the dramatic, chase the consistent. If you can stay disciplined, keep selling, keep improving, and keep showing up, you don't just build a business, you build a fortune that lasts. Thank you for staying this long until this end. We hope we have been able to light some fire in you and ignite new ideas. The world is yours for the taking, and we can't wait to see what you make of it. Until next time, cheers to becoming successful.